Are you ready to find out the best ways you can get clients as a virtual assistant this 2025? And this will apply whether you are a virtual assistant or a freelancer or you're just starting your business. First off is know who you're helping. Basically, you know who your niche and who you want to work for. Now, depending on where you're at on your journey, you might have had a few clients already and you kind of know who you want to work with, who you're targeting, all that jazz. Or you're kind of just trying to figure out what that looks like for you and for your business. That's why it's really important to have a clear, kind of really picture of who you want to work with. For example, for 2XU, my executive assistant agency, our target audience are basically coaches, consultants, and authors, basically people who are helping other people, because that's kind of what we do at 2XU, because we want to expand value people are creating. And that's who we're targeting. We have a whole profile. We basically have a checklist of like who is our target audience, who isn't our target audience, and we basically have that very clear. So then for our sales and marketing team, it's a little bit easier for them to say yes or to say no when it comes to people inquiring about what we do. Next is you want to make sure that you clean and upgrade. And what I mean by this is as you have the clarity of business that you have or the services that you're offering, as well as the kind of person that you want to target or work with, is you want to make sure that your online presence is clean and you upgrade it in the right way. So what I mean by this is going through your LinkedIn profile, going through your Facebook, if you have an Indeed account, if you're on onlinejobs.ph as a Filipino VA, whatever that looks like for you, is go through your profiles that are public and going ahead and cleaning anything that doesn't really need to be there, as well as unpinning maybe anything that's been there for a while. For example, for me on LinkedIn, it's always the most updated things that I have going on there, and it's always the things that are relevant to the work that I'm currently doing or working on. So you want to go through your LinkedIn feature of like what's pinned there, what are the posts you want there to show up. You want to make sure that any post that might not shine the best light on you later on is taken out as well. You want to make sure that, again, it's clean and you've upgraded it to the kind of clients that you want to work with. Next is you want to then ask AI. Now, this is something that I have been doing myself within my agency and something that we're going to be doing more and more and rolling out and training our own executive assistants how to do this for their clients. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and open ChatGPT. You should be able to see it here. And I'm going to go into make sure that I have deep search turned on. So this is only kind of for the paid ChatGPT. However, you can use grok.com, grok.com for free. And you could probably test it out as well because they do have the deep search on free. But basically on here, you can go ahead and ask, can you give me a list of possible clients for my, and you put very specifically what kind of virtual assistant or services that you're offering. So for my executive assistant business focused on operations and systems. And then you want to put in your target audience. So I just put on here, our target audience are business coaches and consultants, and I changed a little bit where I put the list of places that our possible clients could be. So I'm going to go ahead and hit enter again. Make sure you click that deep search on there, and ChatGPT is just going to go ahead and give us that list. So here it does ask more questions. I can just say, figure it out, please. And then it'll actually then just do that for you. And if you can go back and actually, answer these, this will just help ChatGPT be a little bit more specific. But then you can go ahead and you can see it's saying starting research. So it's actually going ahead and finding different places that you can target your possible target market and make that whole process just a little bit easier for you. So while ChatGPT is doing that search, we'll hit a pause because it does take a little bit of a while for it to fully find everything because it is using deep search. You want to then dominate a platform. What that means is choosing where you want to talk to your target audience, which is why it's important to ask tools like ChatGPT, Grok, or any other AI tool that you might be using deep search for, of where can I find them? Where can I talk to them? Where are they the most active? And then be active on that platform. You don't have to be active everywhere else, just active on that platform. What I mean by this is posting things, engaging with people, liking their posts, following people, connecting with a lot of people, really making sure that you are there and you could be as loud as you can, as loud as you want, with the kind of content that would also be resonating with them, which is the next step, is creating posts for them. So for example, for me, if you go onto my LinkedIn, a lot of my posts on there are targeted towards our target audience at 2XU. Now, because I do create this kind of content where it's targeted towards virtual assistants, I kind of have a mix in there. But whenever I'm creating a post that's not based off of a YouTube video, it's going to be focused on talking to my target audience of whoever they are. I could be even tagging a few friends of mine, featuring clients of ours, whatever that looks like, but I'm talking to our target audience on that chosen platform. Next is you want to start having conversations. And I said conversations, not pitching. So as you start generating engagement, things on LinkedIn, it could be that you're then moving it into chat, but you're not pitching yet. You're making sure that they could be someone who needs your services or not. So it could be as simple as, hey, saw your post on this. That was fantastic. That was amazing. Do you already have a virtual assistant? Or did your assistant do that for you? So finding kind of hooking questions to see if they could be someone that you could work with. Because of course you don't want it to be where you sound pitchy right away. You want to build that conversation with them of where they're at in the business, and then being able to frame yourself in that way. Like, hey, I could help you out with that. That could be something that we could work on. Just start a conversation. Now this could be very, very scary. This could be something that's uneasy. Of course you can use AI to draft up a few of the first kind of conversations, but the point is to keep it short, just a one-liner of like, hey, loved your post about it. Can you tell me what was your idea on it? Hey, saw you that you got this award or got this achievement on LinkedIn. Tell me more about it. How were you able to get that award? So you're interested in them, and then you can start going through the process of seeing, again, if they're just a target market. They're not pitching, you're not asking them like, hey, work with me. You're seeing if they actually even need your service in the first place. So starting those conversations is one of the first things that you can do to not just have someone kind of dismiss you or worse, block you on LinkedIn, but also making sure that you're at least building some relationship with that person. That's why engaging on their post, commenting, liking with kind of full intention, not just like, oh wow, congratulations, you're putting some intention into it. It's going to help you kind of get more clients. And the cool thing is, if they're not your target audience, you can do the next step, which is collaborate and refer. And what I mean by this is you might have been in conversation with someone and they're just not your target audience. Either that they already have someone on their team who does the service you provide, or that they may either be far along ahead or not even there yet to be able to be your target audience. And that's okay, because then you can collaborate with them in some way and either refer them or they refer you. And that's something that I've done a lot with a lot of my own friends. It's not transactional at all. It is that we've built that genuine connection and basically friendship, that anytime that they hear like, hey, a friend of mine is looking for an executive assistant, I referred your agency. And it's the same thing for me. It's like, hey, someone is looking for X, Y, and Z. I thought of you immediately, and then sending them your way. So it's very much a collab and refer. They receive referral commissions basically from 2XU month to month. And then for me, I'm just in it just because someone asked me for help and I want to help them. So that's what I mean by collaborate and refer. Don't just ask. Make sure that you give more times than you ask. Next is to use your testimonials, even just the smallest chat from your past clients or current clients of how well you did something. Share a win that you're able to do or be able to create within their business. The point of this is you're showing the results of what you can do, and then you can use that, of course, as new pinned posts for your profile to be able to show off how it is or what it's like to work with you. Next is make sure that you track your stats. As you're starting to create more posts, you might be sending out some job applications as well, is making sure that you track where you actually get your audience or your target market from. So for example, for me, I know that's LinkedIn, I know it's YouTube, because when I'm hopping on discovery calls with these people, I ask them like, oh, how did you hear about us? And most of the time they will say like, oh, I saw your LinkedIn post, I saw your YouTube video. And that's basically then for me, I'm doubling down on that. So you're not kind of spreading yourself too thin. You're making sure that you're intentionally choosing where you want to be loud. Track your stats, track your numbers, track and see where you get the most kind of engagement, as well as people who are actually booking calls and wanting to be a client. Not just the likes, not just the comments, but actually where you're getting the clients. And finally, make sure that you put in value first. What I mean by that is talk about how you can help alleviate a lot of their stress. And it's not just through creating posts about it. Again, it's engaging with other people's posts. One of my favorite pastimes now is going on to threads and finding people's frustrations and like, hey, I really need help on this on my business. And for me, I'm just responding like, hey, make sure that you are clear on what you do, creating systems out of it and having an assistant to make sure that it's off of your plate. So for me, I'm just giving value. I'm not pitching 2XU at all, but I'm also then practicing how I pitch, practicing how I talk to people whenever they bring to me different ways that they need help on. And again, having that mindset of value first. So if you're still here, last bit is I switched to Grok.com because ChatGPT was taking a little bit too long. I think it was just because of the timing and everything. But I'll go ahead and start, share screen again, which is basically just me turning on the recording on my phone. But basically, I asked Grok the exact same thing of like, hey, give me a list of places our possible target audience could be. And it gave me all of these like direct answer directories, basically places where I can now go ahead and start searching for people who are my target audience, find out where they're active, find out where they are, and going ahead and starting to hopefully reach out to them, create those conversations, create that value first mindset, and start closing them as well and becoming clients for my company. And again, I encourage you that once you have that search insights is to keep asking AI the questions that you need of like, where are they probably at? What social media platform they're probably active at? Can you find a list of like emails so you can reach out to them? But again, research them before you pitch, and going ahead and asking it to craft that first couple of chats for them, not emails, but just outreach chats on how to be able to reach out to them and create that connection with them. Now, if you guys like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button right there. Comment below any questions you might have when it comes to getting clients this 2025. I would love to know. And if you still haven't yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home and how to build business from home, which you guys can check out those two playlists right here and the latest video right here. Hope you guys have an amazing day and where that small steps matters. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!